Man, am I tired. Am I tired? I'm sore. I just want to go to sleep early. So, if this AEW review is shorter than usual, I'm very sorry for that. But I promise you that next week, you're going to get a full-fledged review for the anniversary show. So that's a show I cannot wait for next week. That's going to be one hell of a show. And it looks like a pay-per-view next week. This show tonight, it had its ups, and it certainly had its downs. I am going to flat out say it right now. This was one of the weirdest episodes I think I've watched in a very long time for AEW. I'm not saying the show was bad. I'm not saying the show was perfect. I thought the show was good for what it was, but I'm going to say it was a very weird episode of AEW. We honestly had that dog collar match between Brody Lee and Cody for the TNT Championship, which we will get to. We will get to it. We had 30 years of Jericho, which is the highlight throughout the entire show. He main evented with Jake Hager against Chaos Project, Serpentico, and Luther. And then we had Brian Cage versus Will Hobbs, which I thought was very good. And then we had an AEW World Tag Team title match, which we will get to. But before we get to everything that happened on tonight's Dynamite, I need you guys to check out 2 videos for me. Actually, 3. Make sure you go check out my NXT TakeOver 31 review from this past Sunday night. Make sure you check out my Raw review. Shout out to everybody who checked out my Monday Night Raw review from this past Monday. 800. Last time I looked before the show tonight, I was at 871 views. Absolutely amazing stuff right there. So if we could crack 1,000 for that video, man, that would make me a happy camper. But 871 views, I'll take that any day of the week. That is excellent. Thank you guys so much for that. And then make sure you guys go check out my NFL Week 5 predictions. Let's get into the show. Let's get into this Dynamite review. We're going to try to get it down, not the full. Hopefully we're not here for 25 minutes, but we'll see how I go. We open up the show with a really good FTW Championship match with Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage. And I was actually looking forward to this match before the show tonight. And this match was very good. This was just 2 big mammoths. Brian Cage is a big guy. Will Hobbs, he's a big guy. And these are just 2 mammoths going at it in a very hard-hitting match. And these are the kind of matches I love. Just 2 big, strong, muscular guys just going at it and beating the crap out of each other. This match was 10 minutes, but it was really good. A really good 10 minutes. Brian Cage won with it's like some claw finisher, or an F10 or an F5, whatever. He hit that in the match. Brian Cage hit an F5, but he won with like some hammer claw or whatever. He defeated Will Hobbs in about 10 minutes. Then after the match, Taz was on the microphone and he gave Will Hobbs 2 options to either join Team Taz or to get his ass beat by Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. Then out came Darby Allin, and Darby Allin ran off Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. So we could be seeing a tag team match in the future between Ricky Starks and Brian Cage versus Darby Allin and Will Hobbs. If that match happened at the Full Gear pay-per-view, I would not mind that at all. That could be a very good tag team match. But before I move on to the next match, Will Hobbs, even though he lost, he came out as a big winner tonight. I became more of a fan of Will Hobbs tonight than I was previously. I feel like he's just missing one thing. He's got to get a little bit more charisma. If he gets a little bit more charisma to him, then I think he's the guy. He will definitely be a champion in AEW. He will do big things in AEW. And I'm honestly excited to see where Will Hobbs goes. So I'm excited for that. Brian Cage retained the FTW Championship in 10 minutes. Then we got the World Tag Team Championship match, a 20-minute brush of greatness with Jack Evans and Angelico. TH2 challenging FTR for the Tag Team Championships. Now, before this match happened, I was not a fan of TH2 getting a tag team title opportunity, but my good buddy Wesley Williams on Twitter, shout out to him. He explained to me that that Dax Harwood has sent out a tweet saying that he requested TH2 to challenge for the tag team titles in 20-minute brush of greatness because they're two talented wrestlers and they don't get looked at in a very high level and stuff like that. So he wanted FTR to defend the tag team titles against Jack Evans and Angelico. Match was good. The match was good. I enjoyed it. I knew TH2 was absolutely not going to win the tag team titles. This match was very good outside of a Phoenix Splash from Jack Evans that he botched and he slipped and he went up to the top. It just didn't look good at all. FTR then got rid of Angelico. They hit the suplex, frog splash combination to retain tag team championships. Good match right here with Jack Evans and Angelico. Now that the whole 20-minute brush of greatness thing is basically FTR choosing who they want to face. So at first I was angry that Angelico and Jack were getting a tag team title match. Now it all makes sense. I'm cool with it. Then we get on the Titantron and we see a graphic of FTR in wiener costumes, in hot dog costumes. Then best friends come out. They congratulate FTR and they tell FTR that they are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. And they went to the back and they just walked past Tony Khan. And Tony Khan told them that next week on the anniversary show, they will be defending the AEW Tag Team Championships against the best friends. And this is not a brush of greatness. This is actually a 60-minute time limit for the World Tag Team Championships. Take my money, man. Take my money. This is going to be awesome. Best friends versus FTR could honestly be the match that I'm looking forward to the most next week. This is going to be a tag team clinic from both of these teams. Best friends, they are amazing. They are having great work as of late. FTR, they're the best tag team in the world, in my opinion. Very good. And now this will be their third tag team title reign. And now I was thinking we were going to get this match at Full Gear. We're getting this match on the anniversary show next week. So maybe, just maybe, we're getting the Young Bucks at Full Gear against FTR. And Young Bucks actually super kicked the cameraman that was facing them backstage. So they just walked back. Nick asked Matt if he had any cash. Nick had to pay for it this time. So that was that. Very good stuff with the Young Bucks. Then we got into the big match that I was looking forward to all week. The dog collar match for the TNT Championship between Cody and Brody Lee. I said last week on the channel, and I always keep my promise to you guys, that if Cody was just going to come back and regain the TNT Championship, that I was going to give it its criticism. And what happened? Cody came back, and yes, the dog collar match was awesome. It was an awesome match and a very cool moment. But Cody won the TNT Championship, which I'm not a fan of at all. I'm not a fan of it. But Joseph, why are you not a fan of Cody regaining the TNT Championship? This does nothing for me. Okay? I hear people on social media saying, oh, if Brody Lee won this match, the feud would have ended. No, it didn't. It didn't need to end tonight with Brody Lee winning the TNT Championship. The TNT Championship is a television championship, really. So they have an out of not defending the TNT Championship on a pay-per-view. You could have had Brody Lee. Beat Cody for the TNT to retain the TNT Championship in this dog collar match. Have him and the rest of the Dark Order beat him down really bad, and then the Nightmare Family comes out. Dustin, QT, Brandy, they get in a huge brawl with Uno Grayson and Anna Jay, and then that right there, that sets up blood and guts for the Full Gear pay-per-view. And you could do blood and guts right on the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. It could be Cody being the captain of the Nightmare Family with Dustin, QT Marshall, and Brandy Rhodes versus Captain Brody Lee of the Dark Order with Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Anna Jay. So, Brody Lee did not need to lose the TNT Championship at all. And if this is just going to be, at the end of it, I hope Brody Lee wins the championship back. If he does not win the championship back, I'm going to be even more pissed than I am right now. So, I'm hoping AEW does the right thing. Brody Lee gets a rematch at Full Gear, and Brody Lee regains the TNT Championship. Because if he loses twice in a row to Cody, I feel like it's going to bring Brody Lee's credibility down. Now, was the way Brody Lee lost good? Yeah. He got a dog collar freaking wrapped around his face, blood pouring down his face, and then Crossroads 1, 2, 3. I'm just upset that Cody won back the TNT Championship and Brody Lee barely got his feet wet in the title reign. He defended it against Dustin Rhodes and Orange Cassidy, and he was the champion for how long? 1, 2, 3, 6 weeks. He was the TNT champion for 6 weeks. And then Cody just comes back and he regains the TNT championship. To me, it's bullshit. And I always put my heart and faith in Tony Khan and the creative in AEW because they put on a good show every week for us. So I'm going to put my faith in them, and I'm praying that Brody Lee regains that championship back at Full Gear, because if he doesn't, A, I'm never going to take Brody Lee serious ever again, and B, his credibility is going to go down. So that's my little criticism I have to give about Cody winning the TNT Championship. Besides that, this match was awesome. This was honestly one of the coolest matches of 2020. Just having Greg the Hammer Valentine sit at ringside, because he was one of the most famous dog collar match. He was there, and just having him sit in the audience watching this dog collar match was very good. There was blood all over the place like we knew it was going to be. It was brutal. It was a physical match. It was everything you could have asked for in this dog collar match. I was going to say that Cody winning that championship ruined the dog collar match for me, but that's taking it too far, because that match was awesome. That match was really, really awesome stuff. I'll probably watch it again, even though I'll get pissed off seeing Cody win. I don't hate Cody, guys. Just to let you know, if some of you are thinking, why do I hate Cody now? Cody's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world, okay? I just don't think it's necessary to give him back the TNT Championship. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about this dog collar match. At the end of the day, I just hope Brody Lee gets the championship back at Full Gear. Then we got Serena Deeb versus Big Swole. This was good. 7 minutes. Big Swole won with her spinning elbow. And that was pretty much it. Serena Deeb, she signed with AEW. She's a good addition for the women's division. She is one of the veterans in the women's division in AEW. And that should be very good for the women's division to learn and grow from Serena Deeb. And with Full Gear coming up, I'm shocked they didn't do Nyla Rose versus Shida next week on the anniversary show. So Big Swole is ranked number 2 in the rankings. This win, I think, is going to elevate her as the number 1 contender. And we could see Big Swole versus Hikaru Shida at Full Gear. And that would be a good match. I wouldn't lie. That could actually be a really good match. So we'll see what happens in the women's division. Then we get next week's show. Next week's show is big. We got Jon Moxley versus Lance Archer for the AEW World Championship. That's going to headline the show. Best Friends versus FTR for the tag team titles. We're getting, I forgot to mention this earlier, we're getting Orange Cassidy versus Cody for the TNT Championship next week. And then we're getting Kip Sabian and Miro in action. And I meant to put a tweet about next week's show out tonight, but I'll say it now and I'll probably tweet it again tomorrow. If there are any of you guys watching this video, I am looking for a guest on next week's show. Next week is a big show, and really big show. I think it's bigger than this week, but I am looking for a guest. So if you guys are interested, please DM me on Twitter, and we can work something out for next week. So if you guys are interested being a guest, I'll send a tweet out probably tomorrow sometime. But I'll say now, if you guys are interested being a guest on the channel, just leave a comment down below, or just leave a comment down below, or DM me on Twitter. That would be the best one. I would advise you to DM me on Twitter, but a comment wouldn't be that bad. Then we got into the main event. Oh, this was horrible. I'm sorry. No disrespect to any of the 4 guys in this match, but I get that Jericho wanted to have this match with Luther. He's known him for 30 years. They wrestled each other all over the world. It's Jericho's 30-year anniversary, but this was terrible. This match was terrible, and it wasn't really even Jericho or Jake Hager, it was just Luther. He was botching all over the place. He was wobbly on the top rope. He almost slipped. It took him almost a minute for himself to get himself situated before he delivered a swanton to everybody on the outside, which looked very sloppy. It was just not good. Serpentico, he's good. He's very talented. I do see something in Serpentico. But Luther, sometimes they have a saying of that age gets to wrestlers. So Luther is 52 years old. I think Gage is getting to Luther. I think you can stick him on AEW Dark, or he could be a coach or an advisor for AEW. Because I know Jericho wants him there. He's his best friend. But, I mean, Luther was not good at all. I'm not a big Luther guy at all. And I never want to see him wrestle on Dynamite again. Especially in a big main event slot in a big show like this, like it was tonight. This was just not good. That I was happy when the match was over. Then we got MJF coming out. This was good. He said next week he's going to have a career announcement. And he wants Chris Jericho to be at ringside for MJF's announcement. Then he's got a big surprise. Wardlow unveils it. And it's a clown. Kind of dressed up like Doink the Clown. Then the clown is holding a poster. And it's a poster of MJF. Then Jericho takes the poster. He smashes it over the clown. And he says, I don't like clowns. And then they both laugh at each other. They hug it out. Then all the heels come out. And they start drinking a little bit of the bubbly with Chris Jericho in the inner circle. And that was the way the show ended. Next week's career-altering announcement for MJF. He wants Jericho there. That should be interesting. I thought this week was going to be the moment that they set up the match at Full Gear. I think it's going to be next week. Next week's going to be it with this career announcement from MJF, and it should be interesting. But overall, like I said in the beginning, it had its ups. It had its downs. But at the end of the night, for what it was, I thought it was good. Nothing to get excited about. The only thing I would tell you to go watch is Will Hobbs versus Brian Cage and the dog collar match between Cody and Brody Lee. But I'm getting out of here. I am tired. I'm going to upload this and then go to bed, man. I'm exhausted. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have not already, please subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Let's try to get 230 subscribers by the end of the weekend. I would appreciate that. Comment down below. I want to know what you thought of tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite, 30 years of Jericho. Hit that like button if you like what I had to say about this episode of Dynamite. And then follow me on Twitter, at Conlon_Joseph. We are almost at 1.4K followers on Twitter. We're like 5 followers away. So please, if you have not followed me on Twitter, go follow me, man, at Conlon_Joseph. And I will see you guys tomorrow for your NXT post-takeover 31 review right here on the channel. Have a good night. Stay safe.